I don't know if you've ever been really, really afraid, but I have been, and there are things that scare me. And one time that I was really afraid was when I was a teenager. A couple of my friends and we went to Maine bear hunting, and the way they did bear hunting in Maine at that time was they would hunt over bait. So the tourist camp that we went to, they had some bait sites where they put out some meat scraps and things, and then the bear would come into the bait. And so I went. I had my tree stand that they gave me that was out a little um, distance, maybe a mile, half a mile away from the camp, and there was a trail that went out to the bait site, and then they climbed up the tree. There was a ladder that went up the tree, and the tree stand was maybe 20 feet off the ground. And the one night I was out there hunting, and we would go out there, we'd sit in the tree stand until it got dark, and then we would walk back to the tourist camp after dark. Um, so, of course, I had a flashlight with me so I could walk back to the tourist camp. The one night I was out there, there was a fair-sized young bear came out there, um, and but there was another bear back in the bush, and I wanted to see that one. So I thought maybe that's a bigger one, but it never came out. I could hear it back there in the bush, but it never came out. And the one that was at the bait was kind of small, and so they left, and I went back in, and I was talking to the camp owner, and the camp owner said, "Well, what you want to do is, um, the if that happens again, then you shoot right into the bait, right close to where the smaller bear is eating, and the bigger bear will come dashing out of the bush, and you'll get a shot at the bigger one." So I was like, okay, that sounds like a strategy. So the next night I was out there, and sure enough, there came this smaller bear again, and so I waited, and I could hear the larger bear in the bush, but it wasn't coming out. So I shot into the bait, but that smaller bear just kind of looked at where the bullet hit the bait and just went on eating. The bigger bear didn't come out of the bush. And then somehow I dropped my flashlight. So now my flashlight was at the bottom of the tree, and I could hear the bears down there. It got dark, and I couldn't see. I didn't have my flashlight, and I could hear the bears there, but I couldn't see them. And I thought, you know, if I go down there, I'm going to be 30 feet away from a bear, which I don't really think is a great idea. But eventually, I screwed up my courage, went down the ladder, got to the bottom, found my flashlight, and made a dash for the tourist camp. You know, my fear never materialized. Uh, and the things I worried about never really happened. And so, you know, I sat up there in that tree, terrified for I don't know how long, but probably if I just would have gone down right at the beginning, it would have been fine. Um, so, someone said that courage isn't the lack of fear. Courage is the ability to act even when you are afraid. And I think that's true.